Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Olympia Soiree, continuing wherever we happen to be in Himiko's route where we last left off. You know better than I do. It's been more days for me than it has been for you, so I'll figure it out eventually. I don't even remember what just happened. I really don't. It's been like 3 or 4 days. Okay, legitimately, it's been like 3, but anyway. This all feels so unreal. I wasn't thinking of what I heard as a lie. What Tsukiyomi said did make sense, and he explained to me what I wanted to know. Ah, okay, that's what just happened. All right. Right. Okay. Yeah, got it. All this time, it was the colors that have kept the sun shining brightly. Doma kind of... Well, okay, you know what? It makes sense that, like, if Doma knows that, because he was probably our dad. We know for a fact that okay, I don't know if in Kanon's story it said like he definitely did, but it was it's rumored that he did. So I'm just going to take that as a game fact that Doma had a wife and child on Tenyo Island. Okay? So, yeah. Whether it's us or not, the game's going to wait and tell us that it is, but I'm just betting on that one, okay? Put all my chips on that. So, but like, it would make sense if he knew how it worked, like, whether it was our mother or someone else, whatever, that he knew that, because, like, we just learned, and, I mean, okay, she just learned. We kind of know, because it's kind of in Riku's route, like, oh, okay, more power, and like, okay, it's because she had sex with Riku, right? Like, but it makes sense now thinking about it, because I wasn't thinking about that before, that Doma would know that. Might know that and remember. You know what I mean? Because, like, Fuso remembers his wife. He's like, I don't remember her name, but I kind of remember her. You know what I mean? Like, so Doma being an outsider, he might not have forgotten his time there. He might fucking well know. He might have remembered what he was told, which was, oh yeah, so, like, we take on our lover's colors, and then that's what we gift to the sun type of a thing, and then that's kind of how he came up with the, let's use the people in Yomi's show, and because it makes sense. You're using people's colors in a way, either, So it kind of actually makes sense that he thought about that. I mean, I didn't put the pieces together, but Doma's smarter than me. He's also sexier than me, which is, I don't know if that's saying anything. I don't think I'd make a sexy man, so, But anyway. If that was the case, regardless of Doma's intentions, he used the show of those in Yomi because he couldn't use the show of those on the surface. All because they were already dedicated to the construction of the Ama no Mihishira. But there are also Ko and Otsu's show on the surface. Oh, hi! I love it when we get to flash back to Doma. Not when he's screaming, ugh! But, when we get to look at his pretty face. Anyway. And the sun's light does not reach Yomi. Yet in death, they themselves can reach the sun. There you go. There's our poetic Hijikata. It's a little robotic like him. I'm just gonna... We gotta tie everything together. It's all one big universe. Wait, so Doma's actually treating their souls with respect? I love how she's like, wait, Doma's doing something nice? It's always a shock to her. Everything is a shock to her. I mean, wait till you find out he's your dad. That I expect to be a shock, though. That can't be right. I mean, it's him! There she goes again. How does she get anything done with how often she is just, like, astounded and outraged at Doma/Akaza at this point? Hey, girl. I love it. Oh, I love it so much. I looked up at the brilliant shrine gate towering over me. I was told that Lord Hiroko ordered that it be built, but for what purpose? If all the show on the surface were instead offered to the sun, it would surely ensure the sun's stability far into the future. And the souls of those on the surface used in death to build the gate for Lord Hiroko. And with the souls of those in Yomi, we can make the sun shine. Maybe Lord Hiriko's trying to get the fuck off this island. Maybe that's his fucking gay. He's like E.T. phoning home. He's like, take me out of here. This place sucks. I mean, which do you suppose is the greater honor? I mean, again, not Femur Bridge. Perhaps Akaza and Kuroba still didn't know the deeper meaning behind why the women of the White needed to find husbands. I would guess they probably don't. Tsukuyomi and you, like, they don't know anything about the women of the White. And that is the way of this world. The way of this world. I like the fact that in this part, in the very beginning, we got to flash back to Doma and Tsukuyomi. Two of my favorites. Complete opposite sides of the coin. You got one who's kind of an asshole, but still has your back, and then the other one's completely crazy and might actually stab you at some point. I don't know. Look, I love Tsukuyomi, but listen, you're crazy, and I don't know if I can trust you or not. I don't know. I trusted Kuroba, and look what happened. But again, it's acceptable, and I don't blame you for that, Kuroba, and I'm not mad about it. I'm not even like, it's like, no, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate you looking out for me like that. So I didn't have to marry Nagusa. Cool. Good job. Thanks. It was a noble stabbing. The way of this world. If that's true, then what does honor really mean in this world? We're getting deep here in this one. After my letter inspection, I arrived at the Red District. Now that I'm done with my deliveries, what should I do? What am I thinking? It's obvious what I should be doing. Tsukuyomi went to all that trouble to remind me of my role, so I should find a husband as soon as I can. God, Tsukuyomi. Whatever. I'm usually alone here, so they must be glad to have your company. Don't worry, they'll be at peace now, thanks to you. His face from back then returned to mind. Mourning the dead alone was just part of his life. I think I'll go back to that beach. I just thought maybe my husband would be here. As I had done that day, I somehow persuaded a reluctant coachman to take me to Corpse Beach. I mean, maybe if you didn't call it Corpse Beach. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. None of them seemed to want to go near there. Sure, it was a bit eerie, but I wouldn't say it was defiled or filthy like some others would. Huh. Isn't that Himuka? I disembarked the carriage and walked a bit, seeing a familiar figure up ahead. He probably lives in that tiny little house. I mean, that makes sense, wouldn't it? Oh, no, it's somebody else. Good afternoon, soldier. Oh, it's Riku! Shocking! You know, we haven't seen Riku in this route at all, have we? He was never at the gate, huh? There was a hint of sorrow in his voice. Are you okay? Oh, is your friend that dude? Because what the hell is his name? Why can't I remember? It's Okiji something, right? What? I can't remember his name. Anyway, he was from the Blue, and he was also a soldier, so he might have been Riku's friend, and Riku might be sad. Oh, Riku, you poor sad thing. I don't know why I feel shocked about that. Like, oh, Riku, that's sweet. You are. He is a goddamn sweetheart. He's a robot, but he's a sweetheart. So I don't know why I'm shocked about this, but I froze for a moment, but immediately pretended not to notice. What a beautiful day it is, wouldn't you say? Why are you here? I was about to ask you the same thing. This ain't about the money. That place is the most defiled, deadliest place on the island. I heard Okiji-ku. Okay, I couldn't remember. I'm like, Okiji-ku. I can't remember the end of his name. Anyway, I heard this was where Okichiku was sent off. I finally understood why he had tears in his eyes. No! We're supposed to be in Himuka's route. Don't make me feel sad for Riku and want to hug him, poor thing. Oh. We take care of our man harem boys. Hug him, goddammit. Rather, I hope that was the reason. Yes, that's right. He was sent off into the sea with a flower wreath. A flower wreath. He looked around the area. The place is filled with so many flowers ready to be picked. Riku crouched down and began to pick the flowers around him with tremendous haste. When one hand was full, he stood up, walking to the edge of the shore, and threw the flowers with all his might into the sea. He's so cute. Oh, Riku, I missed you. I mean, like, I loved his route, and he is one of my faves. Like, you know, he's one of my pretty boys. But, like, then he does shit like this, and you're like, oh, you poor precious thing. You're such a softie on the inside. He really is a marshmallow, isn't he? Oh, I love it. I don't know how to weave. That's all right. The red, blue, and yellow flowers scattered for a moment, drifting further out before eventually disappearing under the surface one by one. I thought it was just another rumor. Huh? Okijiku was in the Yomi patrol unit with me. I befriended him as we were close in age, and he was a very earnest man. That's right, Okijiku was with the blue. But he never said anything about it to me. So when I heard the rumors, I did not believe them. I thought he would never do such a thing. But now, he's dead. He was so straightforward, so earnest, and that's why he was forced to do it, they said. I looked away, pretending not to see his tears. But through my eyes, I saw my own vision blurring. I kept thinking if only he'd told me what he was going through. Then again, there's nothing I could do with this class system in place. This is that moment where you're like, Riku, why weren't you like this in your route? I mean, he was a sweetheart in his route, don't get me. I mean, you know, once we broke him down a little bit, but... And he's always been a sweetheart, he just doesn't admit it. But he was always very much in his route like, no, but the color system is the way it's supposed to be. It has to be this way. I mean, you know he doesn't, I think, deep down inside agree with it or like it, but it's one of those, this is just the way it is. People are like, but do you like it? But it's the way it is. Like, I have no opinion on the matter. It is how it is. You know what I mean? He's just been like that. So, but it's kind of interesting seeing this when he's like, I can't do anything with this class system. And it's like, there's this doubt now. I mean, I think his doubt was always there, but we kind of had to needle it out of him. And now it's just here, see? It's sad. Was he my enemy or my ally? At the very least, he came all the way out here for Okijiku and even shed tears for him. He came to the beach that everyone else treated as filth. About that, why don't you start with doing what you can? Huh? You don't want to cry anymore, right? Why don't we think of something we can do? What in the world are you saying? He's like blushing. I didn't mean that, Riku. His shoulders sank with disappointment. And colors are colors and traditions are traditions, and they cannot be changed, no matter what. See, it's like this, and he's like, you can't change traditions? Yes, you can. Like, but he's forced himself into this mindset, and you're like, oh, Riku, you poor thing. Well, fine then. Hey, thank you for picking the flowers. I'm sure your flowers made it to them. I'm just repeating what Himuka said to me. If you'll excuse me... Wait. Don't ever say what you just said to anyone in the military. I would never say that to just anyone. You wouldn't. Then why me? Because I know what a little marshmallow you are, Marshmallow. Because you came to this beach. I thought that you'd be able to understand since you came here to pay your respects. He's like, how dare you say anything like that? But you agree with me. You like Krabby Patties, don't just Squidward. Shut up. Like, this is that moment. This is that moment. He's like, what? Yeah, you do. No, I don't. What's that in your pocket? He looked down for a moment, then quickly looked up again. That SpongeBob face, the face that SpongeBob makes when he's like, you like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward? That lives rent-free in my mind. It's just one of the most amusing things I've ever seen in my life. And just like, because you know, like when you have situations where you're like, you make that face in your brain. You're like, you just picture that fucking SpongeBob face. That SpongeBob face is just, it's perfect. Anyway. It lives rent-free in your head now if it didn't before. He looked down for a moment, then quickly looked up again. Olympia, you're always plotting and scheming like this, and I can't just let that be. And before you do anything, consult me or Akaza first. Do I make myself clear? Well, that's rude, saying they plot and scheme. But now I know he's on my side. She's like not even bothered. I haven't decided on what to do just yet, but when I do, I'll be sure to ask you first. Whatever you do, please be careful. I will. Well, I should get going. See ya! See ya. I walked along the beach with a sliver of hope. Even if I can't bring change at once, it can be done one step at a time with our whole man harem behind us. This is exciting. I like it. With the help of people I can trust, I'm sure it'll happen someday. Making my man harem? Yes, with the boys that we love. Mio and Okijiku would never return. I didn't want people to shed any more tears. I'm deviating from my husband search again. Well, no, I mean, you talked to Riku, and he is a possible candidate, so there you go. Technically, you interviewed a candidate. If someone asks, I interviewed a candidate. Yeah. I mean, it was just preliminary chatting, but, it's possible. Who was it? I'm not giving any details yet, because I don't want anybody to think anybody's, above anybody else in the rankings, Despite my guilt, I had to laugh about it. Maybe I'll go and look for Himika this afternoon. And then we're sussing out another candidate. See, I mean, technically, every time we talk to one of our friends, we'd just be like, I'm talking to potential candidates and getting people's input. I am keeping things under advisement.
Have you heard about the Undertaker? I heard he's trying to lure in Lady Olympia.
What's gonna happen to the sun if she gets Haku?
Isn't there some way we can keep the Undertaker from her?
If you're going to gossip, you should be more aware of your surroundings. You should have said that out loud, girl. It'd be so funny to just kind of sneak up and be like, if you're gonna gossip, you should be more aware of your surroundings and who you're gossiping about. Peace out, fuckers! And then, just walk away. I'll just pretend I didn't hear any of that. No, I think you should tell them straight to their face you heard it. Because, seriously? Because there's those kind of assholes, right? The people who are like, oh my god, that don't want you to know that they're talking about you, and you're like, I can fucking hear you, and then oh shit. Or there's those assholes who are like, ha ha ha, look at her, she looks stupid. Ha ha ha, she looks stupid. And they say it really loudly because they want you to hear, because they don't think you're going to say anything back. So then when you're like, I fucking heard you, douche canoe. Maybe shut your fucking face. Nobody asked. And then it's, I expect her to say anything. So just, tell them off, basically. They just never expect you to be like, I can fucking hear you. You're not funny, As I was about to cross the plaza, I felt a tap on my shoulder. Himika? Oh, Tokasada. It's funny we haven't seen you in this route, but I didn't exactly miss you. Sorry, I hate to say that. I was like, all of our boys can come to the man harem. Right, no, not you, though. Sorry, Tokasada. Not you. You're, the friend that maybe will, or one of them is like, this is, my little brother. Okay, hey, what's up, little brother? Cool, you're not invited into the man harem. It's weird. Anyway. Sis! He looked around us and spoke in a hushed tone. I heard you had a tough time here yesterday. It was nothing. Oh, don't get me wrong. Himika was just trying to save me from someone. Yep, figured as much. But, Tokasada looked around again, then moved closer to my ear. If you try to tell me off of Himika, that's it. We're not even friends anymore. Are you friends with Himika? I felt a bit sad seeing Tokasada's confusion. I'm okay with you asking if I'm friends with him. Did he also see Himika in a bad light like the others did? It's not that I don't like him or want to call him names or anything. I don't think he's a bad person. Not even a little. Okay, Tokasada, we can still be friends. Don't you think he's sort of similar to me? As an outsider. Huh? Oh, come on. I know you have a lot of outsiders around you, so we all must look the same. But my hunch is telling me he's one of us. I have a knack for noticing stuff like that. See? This makes me go... He is Lord Hiroko. Fuck. If that shit is what... If the game goes that way, I honestly would legit be surprised, even though I've said it now like twice. Because, like, I'm throwing it out there like a joke, but I'm like, the game wouldn't do... Would it? Would it? Wait, maybe. What? No! You think it was one of those things you throw out there, you're like, wouldn't that be funny? And then it happens and you're like, oh shit, snap game, I didn't actually think you were going there. I threw it out there as kind of an absurd notion, but it could make sense with all the stuff that happened in the carriage. But, yeah, anyway. And I really think Himuka's another outsider. But he can use Batsu, which is interesting.
That too, but long ago I wandered this ocean on a boat
For a very long time. Also this, I forgot about that.
which is why being out in the ocean reminds me of how lonely I was.
And then he created this, oh my god, we are all just figments of his imagination. Wait, is he really? I think you might be right. She's gonna be like, I think that's a stretch, but I think you might be right, Tokasada. Nope, she agrees with Tokasada too. Oh. Come to think of it, he's always been a rather unique person ever since we met. You know, I think you might be right. Right? Even though Tokasada was sort of forcing the idea onto me, I had no evidence to deny what he was saying outright. Sis, you've been talking to him a lot lately, right? Why don't you ask him? Tokasada, is there a reason why you're interested in knowing whether Himuka's an outsider or not? I'm just fucking curious and bored. Huh? Tokasada looked down and started playing with his collar. I thought maybe we could be friends. Oh, Tokasada. Pats him on the head. You're adorable. You're not allowed in the man harem, but if you wanted to come to the... Can Himuka come out and play? Okay, maybe. Tokasada comes to the door to ask if my boyfriends can come out to... Sure, if they want to. I'm a good man harem owner. If they want to go out and play with their friends, that's fine. Just be back before dinner, or if you're not gonna, just let me know. You know, do whatever you want. It's fine. Just don't disappear. Just let me know where you are in case I have to put out a police bulletin for you or something because you go missing. Or someone tries to kidnap you and drag you into their man harem. It's not how it works, okay? My man harem. Everybody else, hands off! Why do people come here? Do you come here for this? Do you enjoy this? I hope so. You know what the funniest part is someone's going to actually leave a comment like, yeah, we absolutely come here for this. And I'm going to be like, what did I say in that part? There are so many times that you guys respond to questions that I ask. And then it's like 2 months later when the part goes up. And then I'm like, I don't even know what I was talking about then, let alone what we're talking about now. So anyway. So I never know what the hell's going on. It'd be nice if I had a friend around my age who was an outsider too. Friend? I was relieved to see Tokasada's bashfulness. It seemed his earlier confusion was shyness all along. Yeah, and the thing is but the funny thing is like, Himuka's probably going to be like a couple 100 years old or something if he's Lord Hiriko. He's like, you know what I mean? Like, Lord Hiriko is like God. He created this fucking island, basically. So, like, but then it goes like, are you... Well, see, that'd be weird if it was like, we're all just figments of Himuka's imagination. And it'd be like, but then why is Akaza the last route? You know what I mean? Like, can't be that way. So, anyway. No, I respect Lord G and the others, but I can't really talk to them casually. Especially not Doma. Like, Doma's just like, I wish someone would just, like, want to hang out and play, like, freaking board games with me or something, but everybody thinks I'm so mean, so I just gotta keep up this act. He sits in his study, like, sad and alone by himself, like, I just want someone to play with me. I'll play with you, Doma. I love you. Doma would hate me. Be that person like, come on, Doma, what's up? Tugging on his sleeve. You want to go play board games? You want to snuggle on the couch? He'd be like, just leave me alone. No! He secretly loves it, okay? He just wants to put up a grumpy face, but inside, he's our marshmallowiest marshmallow, okay? Telling you. I don't blame him. Yeah, I'm still a bit afraid to approach him right now, but I'd like us to get along if possible. I'm starting to think it's a good idea for Himika to have friends, too. So then, sis, will you let me know if you find out anything? Sure thing. After parting with Tokasada, I headed to Yomi. I think it's cute that Tokasada wants to be friends with Himika. Who might be Lord Hiriko? Outsider. The more I think about it, the more I think what Tokasada said is true. It doesn't matter to me if he's an outsider or not, but if there's a reason he's hiding it, I'd rather not force him to reveal himself. Come to think of it, I didn't really know him very well. Yeah, because he doesn't want to tell you he's Lord Hiriko. I'm just going with it. I had fun with the weird shit in this game. All I knew was that he was the Undertaker and a strong wielder of Butsu. Isn't that... Yusuke was dragging her feet ahead of me as she turned into an alley. I hope she's okay. I knew I should mind my own business, but I couldn't just ignore how lifeless she was. I'm not following her. I'm just checking to see if she's alright by following her. I tiptoed into the alley behind her when... Yusuke, no! I pulled her back as she was about to jump into the canal. We both tumbled backward onto the ground. Yusuke, what are you doing? This canal isn't very deep, you know? You absolutely cannot die. Yusuke just wanted to swim. I'm so sorry to cause you trouble again. A tuft of her black hair came out from between the folds of the loose scarf. It's not hideous at all, but I suppose it'd be cruel to say so when she obviously believes otherwise. I believe his hair was black. She's like, my father must have been of the black. I just think it's funny because, like, Doma's hair is black, and the only reason it's got yellow in it is because he got adopted into the yellow and got a crystal jammed in him, and he started to put it beforehand. His hair was obviously black because, hi. So, hello! It's because our daddy's an outsider. Listen, if the game fucking does, like pulls the rug out from underneath me and Doma's not our dad, I'm gonna be slightly disappointed, because all these theories work out really fucking well, don't they? I wonder if my father's hair was like this, too. Thinking about my father was making me long for the color terribly. Yusuke, I know things aren't easy for you now, but I really don't think dying is an option. I didn't really think I would die going in there, but I was wondering if death would be easier. It would be easy to deny it immediately, but that probably wasn't what she wanted to hear right now. I don't know if it would really ease your pain, but I'd be sad to see you leave. You were the first person who gave me a letter to deliver after I started my service. Is that really so? Yusuke wiped away her tears. I know I've said it before, but don't worry. You know I came here from Tenyo Island, right? I kept myself locked away in that manor for many reasons. I don't know the details, but I heard you oh my god. I don't know the details, but I heard you hardly ever left Lord Doma's manor. That's right. It took me years before I finally decided I would step out into the world again. She seemed to hold her breath. I can only imagine how you must be feeling. So it's fine to cry or feel as sad as you want, but please live. I didn't want to see her leave me like they did. I didn't want to mourn her death like theirs. Lady Olympia. Yusuke must have noticed her hair was exposed as she gently pushed it back into her scarf. I don't know what to do anymore. I could see droplets of tears shining on her eyelashes. I feel so pathetic, so ashamed, so frightened every time I look in the mirror. The letter from my parents said they'd apply for permits to come and see me. They both have beautiful golden hair. I don't know how I can face them like this. Leaving the surface was painful. Talks of my wedding were abandoned, so it was difficult to see my parents in distress. But I want to see them still. It's odd. My mind seems to be all over the place. It was something I understood very well, which was why I wanted her to stay alive. How about writing back to them asking for more time? More time? You can tell them that you need a little more time getting accustomed to your new surroundings. In any case, I think settling in here might make you feel more calm about everything. I think you're right. If I saw my parents now, I'd only feel envious of their golden hair. She gave a weak smile and slowly stood up from the ground. I should return soon. Masahana must be worried by now. She is ever so kind to me. Yes, she really is a kind person. Lady Olympia, I must express my sincere thanks for today. I'll take a rest in my room. Please do. Her back looked so small and frail as she left. If only I could be of more help. I sighed with disappointment when I suddenly felt someone's eyes on me. Oh my god, please, please God, I want to see Himika peeping out from behind the wall again. I recognize this presence. Himika! I love this CG so much. And I'm so glad it's back. When she said it, I was like, I really hope they put this CG back in, because I love it. It's just so fucking ridiculous. It's the cutest CG in this game. I love it so much. Like, he's just peeping out from behind the wall, but then he's got the fucking captain with him, like, or his original skull. Who knows? He's probably a ghost. I don't even know, but it's just fucking funny. Maybe it was maybe it's his dad. It was the captain on the maybe, like, he's either Lord Hirtigo or the skull is Lord Hirtigo. It's something Lord Hirtigo, ghost, spirit, past life. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I love it. It's so cute. I look behind me to find him staring intently from behind the wall. What is it? Yesterday, something didn't feel right when we parted. It felt like you were angry. Ah. You aren't the kind of person to fall in love with such a man. I just want this CG to be up forever. Because there's just something that's so much more adorable about Himika if you read it, like, especially that, like, yesterday you seemed angry. And he's just peeping up from a wall with the fucking skeleton in his hand. I don't know why. It's so funny. I love it so much. This is like, I need this CG. I need to get it printed on like a poster or something. Just like a little cardstock thing and just put it on my wall because I just love it so fucking much. There's just something about it that just tickles me inside and just makes me giggle and laugh. And I just feel happy because it is just so funny. Like, there's like a charm, like a weird, creepy, bizarre charm to it. I can't explain how it makes me feel, but anyway, that's right. I need to know. Is it about what happened on the boat? If so, I'll apologize as many times as you want. We were thinking completely different things. And then everything he says as he's asking these questions, just with this CG in the background, is just so much funnier. It's like adorable. Still, as I watched him apologize so desperately, I knew I had to know more about him. Don't worry, I'm not angry, Himika. It's just that we don't really know each other very well yet. So, I want you to tell me a lot about yourself so I can get to know you better. But I have nothing interesting to say. He seemed to be looking down on himself again. Then I'd like to visit your house. Huh? You said you found a lot of things that drifted here, right? I'd love to see your collection. But it's all boring stuff, you know? I wouldn't be so sure about that. You might not think it's interesting, but I might. And also, it's like somebody... It's like, is she playing dumb, or is she really just being a little obtuse here? Like, there'd be like someone like, I want to come over your house and see your stuff. It's my stuff is boring. It's stupid. Even though you're like, I love my stuff. That's why I collect my stuff and I have my stuff because I like my stuff. And then when people are like, I'm going to come over and see it. Yeah, no, my stuff's boring. You wouldn't like it. It's more like I don't want to show you my stuff. I don't want you in my house. Like, it's either like, I don't want to open myself up to you that way by having you come into my inner sanctum and see all my things, or I just don't want you in my house, yo. Me, it's the, I don't want to dust my shit, so, like, you know. I understand. Or, in this case, or Himika being like, my stuff's probably boring and you're gonna judge me, and what? I don't know. It's that awkwardness, too. Yeah, that could be it. Which is what he's doing, so. Are we going to that cabin? I bet we're going to that cabin. Look, it's so cute! There's lots of dead skulls! You know, the cuteness was the sparklies in the background. It's like, look at the pretty oh, there's lots of skulls. There's lots of bones and things. Okay, well, you know. Does he sleep on the bed with that fucking, like, woolly mammoth skull over there? What the fuck is that? I don't know. Is it a horse? What? I don't know. Look, I don't know skulls, but... Come in. There's a deer on the head, and that's probably a deer head on the wall over there. Is that a dog? That's where, that's Spot. He's over there sleeping by the fire. The dead dog. I don't know what it is. It's just bones in random places. That was a choice. I like the glowy ball things. The room was filled with a variety of animal bones. All the shapes, from small to large, were new and unfamiliar to me. Yeah, I'm curious as to the woolly mammoth bone over there. Like, what is that? What kind of animal is that? It looks like a dinosaur. This is amazing. You found all these? Yes. I've never seen animal bones so big before. I mean, I have, but only in books. I never imagined they'd be this big in real life. Yes, the biggest ones were a bit heavy and hard to carry back. Hence why he just sleeps around it now. Huh. Just imagining his delicate body carrying back these huge bones was so adorable. Why are you laughing? Just tell me if you find another large set of bones on the beach. Huh? I'll help you carry it here. We're friends, right? Let me help. Friends. Aren't we? You're right. Blushing slightly, Himika looked around the room before pointing to a particular skull. That one's my favorite. A buffalo skull. The horns are amazing, right? That one doesn't have horns on the right, so it's not that one. Is that what's on the fireplace? Because I thought that was a deer. They really are. It must have been quite strong. And that one's a dodo bird. I don't think they exist in this world, but I read they're friendly and cute. They were. Dodo birds don't exist in this world anymore either. A dodo. I think I read about them too once, in a fairy tale. These here are shark bones, but I don't have the whole thing. It seems not all of the bones washed ashore. I guess I can't be too surprised about that. It was so nice to see him talking about his collection so happily. Okay. Like, I know there's people who like taxidermy or then like animal bones and stuff, and it's like, okay, like skulls and bones and things, like, not real ones, but like, you know, if you have motifs, but then like to go in someone's house, it was like just a bunch of animal bones. You're like, okay. And this is why you didn't want to invite me to your house, because now I need to run away. Like, I mean, you could be the nicest person in the world, but I mean, I guess that's the thing. People come into your house and they're like, oh, look at all your weird shit. And you're like, shut up. Wait, I am weird, though. But, like, I might be slightly concerned about someone who just likes bones. I don't know. It's a little... I think it's because I don't get it, so... I don't get it, so it would make me slightly uncomfortable. All my freaking, like, anime plushies and pillows all over the house might make somebody else uncomfortable. That's why I don't invite people to my house, so... But I just love how she's like, cool! And it's like, I mean, girl, okay, sure. Himika, I'm just saying, if you get invited into the man harem, like, you're gonna have to keep your collection in your room. You can't just break, because I don't think everyone's gonna be okay with that. I'm just saying, keep it in your room. Your space, your rules, but the rest of the house has to be a sanctuary for everyone. Just... I'm glad I said I wanted to come here. That's right. All of these bones. Aren't you scared? Not at all. Not scared. It's a little weird, though. He's just got a bone propped up on a pile of wood over there. Just random bones everywhere. Right. And then I'm glad. Himika hugged the skull he carried with him close to his body. That's the weirdest part of Himika, is carrying around the captain. But, I mean, are we weirded out? A little bit, Himika, but that's why we like you. You're a little fucking weird. As I looked around at the other bones, I suddenly realized the air in here seems so crisp and clear. It almost feels like the air back on Tenyu Island. Is that just my imagination? That's right. Why don't we go outside to search for things? I can't wait to see what we can find. Maybe that's why it's Corpse Beach, because a bunch of dead skulls wash up here, and then he's like, and then I decorate with them. That's an interesting candy bowl. Oh, it's a skull. Oh, okay. I'm sure you'll find something wonderful. Again, reminder. There's the captain, just hanging out. We walked barefoot across the wet sand. Miu and her lover are sleeping in the sea. Maybe it was because I was there to see them off, but I didn't feel afraid at all. Come to think of it, your name is pretty rare, isn't it, Himuka? Is there a meaning behind it? A meaning? He picked up a piece of driftwood. It's written like this. Your name means head toward fire? Also, look to the sun. Because he's the god of this world. I see. So the he in your name has multiple meanings. Like Hiruko? Himuka? I'm just saying. Anyway, I can find a connection. A wave rolled in, crashing onto the sand ahead of us and stretching out toward Himuka's name. As it pulled back, the characters disappeared. But in its place... something just washed ashore. Magical. Is it a fucking lollipop? How the fuck did it not like... I'm gonna guess because they're saying sticking to it. It's not wrapped in plastic. So, like... But how did it not dissolve in the ocean? This island is fucking weird. Anyway. Look, Himuka! It's like a rainbow! A rainbow. I never expected something so cute to wash ashore. I bet it's sticky. I raised the rainbow-colored swirl up to the sun. You're not gonna eat that, are you? Huh? I gazed at the confectionery in my hand. So she knows it's candy? Okay, well, I mean, like, look, I don't know. She was like, look, it's a rainbow! Like, of course not. I wouldn't do that. But then again, feels like such a waste to throw it away. How about we bury it then? But bury? Don't tell me... If we give it a proper burial, it'll return to the earth. Then I'm sure it'll take root on the island. You think so? This is an odd little ritual that we're going to do with a lollipop. Oh my god, then all of a sudden we're like, why are there gumdrops in the trees now? It's because we buried that fucking lollipop. I'm sure he's admiring the sight of it on her head. The day I wove the wreath crossed my mind. The words Himuka uttered could be strange at times. Yeah, I mean, but something about the way he said them felt so earnest and true. Then, let's bury it. We dug a small hole next to a blossoming flower. Oh my god, now the flowers are going to turn into candy. May this beautiful sweet be one with the island. Himuka carefully sprinkled soil on top of it. It was the first time I attended a funeral for... candy. One with the island. Himuka! I just came up with the best way to send that candy off! What is it? How about we ask the sweets vendor to make the same thing? That way it'll really become one with the island, right? Huh? That wasn't what you meant? He's laughing? You're right. That is the best way. I always have fun when I'm with you. I was too embarrassed to say anything. All I knew was that seeing him happy like this made me happy as well. You seem to have a talent for finding wonderful things. You really think so? I'm sure the waves carry different things to you, knowing that you'll cherish whatever they bring. There are so many things that drift to the island, I found this one here, too. Himika raised the skull up into the air. You found it here and you just care? I just figured it had meaning to it aside from it's his friend, but okay. No one ever wanted to come near me, so I only had him for company. That's so sad. Well, I guess that's not his original skull, and is, you know, if he's Lord Hiriko, it's not, that's his past body. He's just always been in this body then. The only one who stayed by my side was this nameless skull that washed ashore. At least you gave him a hat, or did he come with it? Because that's strange. He's the only one I could truly call a friend. Are those show in his eye sockets? Yes. The right is from the yellow, and the left is from the blue. Red was left out. Red is a cursed color, after all. That's something that Lord Hiriko would say. Because of the old lore? You know it? To be honest, I only learned about it recently. I heard that the Red District was struck with misfortune after discovering cinnabar on their land. But Lord Jigen gave them knowledge to lift the curse and brought the people prosperity. So the color isn't cursed at all anymore. I don't believe that everything in these legends is true. He's like, they're still cursed because I said so. Huh? I was taken aback by the unexpected response. You know stories keep changing as they get passed along, right? Or some secret is kept hidden from the very beginning. See, that's like this game right now. Some secrets kept hidden from the very beginning. All right, game. I get it. Keeping a lot of secrets, aren't you? Like, Doma's my dad. Himiko's Hiriko. The first one I'm pretty sure is fact. The second one, I'm just throwing shit out there, but... A secret? Himika, do you know something else about the story? Only a little. Can you tell me? Himika looked up at the sky again. He seemed to regard the sun above us with love and reverence. Long, long ago, a certain man killed Amaterasu, goddess of the sun. And the man then killed himself, regretting the sin he committed. And the blood that flowed forth led to the birth of the Red. Killed? I don't believe it's a lie. After all, the one who told me the story was Lord Hiriko. He really told you that? Yes. Then can I ask you something? What does Lord Hiriko look like? Either that or Tsukiyomi's Lord Hiriko. And maybe that's why he takes care of the women of the White. That's repenting for his sin of killing Lady Amaterasu. I'm just saying, it's possible. Tsukiyomi's got some other kind of shit going on behind the scenes, you know it. He's not just there to be like your crazy crackpot uncle. You're like, ha ha ha, crazy Uncle Tsukiyomi. Oh, you were the puppet master this whole time. I'm just saying. And we know it's not Lord Doma. So it's like... And Hiriko just keeps being mentioned, and he's just mysterious, and it's kind of like, what's the... But like, it's either Himika or Tsukiyomi. Because it's not the skull, apparently. I couldn't see what he looked like because he was hidden behind the blinds. And now, if Himika's giving us this story, then I don't think that Himika is Hiriko, because he's being like, oh, yeah, I talked to him once. I didn't see him. You know, it just... You wouldn't say that about yourself. You know what I mean? Be weird. I see. I told him about you, too. Huh? He told me he was very grateful for your prayer ritual. Really? I'm glad to hear it. I've always watched you dance on stage. I haven't once missed a performance since you began. Huh? Really? And now Himika gets a little creepy. I watch you all the time. Yeah, but now it's slightly unnerving. The sun is very important to us all. You're no different from a goddess when you dance. I cannot take my eyes off you. You're just flattering me and being a little odd. I'm really happy to hear him say that. I'm a little unnerved. I love Himika, but it's still like, you're slightly disturbing. Okay. But you're only looking at Olympia, aren't you? You look sad again. Did I say something bad? Why do I keep making you sad like that? Himika was looking at me so seriously, I had to ask him something that had been on my mind. Himika? You said that you like me, didn't you? I love you. He answered without the slightest hesitation, and I felt a mixture of confusion and happiness. Then, what about me do you love exactly? Huh? What do you... Himika took a huge step back. There's no way I can say that. You're going to think I'm filth if I say what I love about you. Trust me, I would never, ever hurt you. I won't touch you or defile you. All I'll do is watch you from afar. Slightly unnerving, but kind of adorable. Like, there is something about everything he says, you're like, it's kind of unnerving. It's a little, like, disturbing. There's red flags, and there's sirens, and everything, danger, warning signs flashing in the background. But, like, there's something about it, you're like, no, I trust you, Himika. Should I? No, I'm concerned. Like, Kanan, Nagusa said this, you'd be like, danger! Fucking run, girl! Himika, you're like, okay. I mean, there's red flags and warning bells going off telling me to run, but fuck it. Like, I'm here for it, but I'm also slightly uncomfortable. Like, it's weird. I'll absolutely never hurt you. I'll never defile you. Appearing utterly distraught, Himika ran off and disappeared inside the house. I kind of love him because he does stuff like this. We're just having a normal conversation. And he's like, I'm not, oh my god, oh, oh, and then he runs away and you're like, the fuck just happened? He ran away from me again. But he didn't answer my question at all. I won't touch you or defile you. All I'll do is watch you from afar. I don't know why I couldn't read that the second time, but... Well, all right then. I looked upon the skull he left behind on the beach. Whoa, my god, you left the captain? He must have really been in a hurry to leave. I'm sorry for asking you such a terrible question. I would just bring the skull back and, like, put it on his walkway. But I didn't know what to say or do. Asking him why he left me was a cruel and selfish question. But I really wanted to know. I wanted to know if he was looking at the real me or looking at me. Or maybe, standing alone on the beach, a fierce wave of self-loathing suddenly came over me. If Himika asked me the same thing, what would my answer be to him? Something I like about him. He's good at weaving and isn't scared of getting his hands dirty. He takes care of the things that wash ashore. He likes to find and collect things like I do. He suggested we honor the candy we found. He touched me in a very significant way. Oh, girl. Your cheeks are so very hot, aren't they? It was surprising, of course, but I didn't dislike it. I knew his fingers wouldn't harm me. He seemed confused, curious, and touched me like I was precious to him. His hands were cold, but somehow I felt a heat behind his touch as well. Maybe it's only my ego imagining things. I picked up the skull from the sand. Yellow, blue, red. Long, long ago, a certain man killed Amaterasu, goddess of the sun. It's not that I doubt Himika, but not even my mother or Tsukuyomi told me that before. Maybe Amaterasu was killed? It must be just a legend. Or Himika's the one who did it. I mean, it would make sense if Lord Hirako was the one who did it, right? But then again, if you think about it, actually, no, because wasn't there the legend of, like, in the very beginning, like, Tsukuyomi, like, whatever, and then we're like, oh, we have a Tsukuyomi, different. But it's like, is he, though? And then they just kind of throw it out, and you're like, I guess he just has the same name, and we're supposed to just be like, okay. But it's like, maybe, so, it would make sense if Tsukuyomi is, you know what I mean? But then is he Lord Hirako though? Like, Because that could make sense too. And he's like, I created this island. Screw the people of the red. I mean, it just made it's kind of rude, you know? And Tsukuyomi is ageless. Because even Fuso was like, oh, it's been like 40 years, you look the same. So, I mean, we've gotten little snippets and hints that, like, Tsukuyomi has got some kind of shit up his sleeves. He's got big-ass sleeves, so there's a lot of shit he's hiding up there, okay? So, I kind of forgot about the original, like, when we heard the legend with Lady Amaterasu, and then there was a Tsukuyomi, and you're like... But I don't think that Tsukuyomi was the same thing as Hirako in those. But I forget a lot of the stuff from the very beginning. But, like, then it was like, oh, Tsukuyomi! I'm like, oh, he's the guy in the legend! And like, he's not the same one! And you're like, oh. Are you sure? So, maybe that original, are you sure? Was, no, the game's just trying to like, he's not! And you're like, okay. But you kind of knew from the very beginning, because they kind of kept his name the same. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. And then you're curious, though, like, okay, so how's that going to play out in Himika's route? Interesting. Anyway. I went and placed the skull in front of Himika's door before departing from Corpse Beach. I hope he doesn't step on it. Is it sad that I was thinking of that? Like, my partner. Like, put it on his doorstep. I hope he doesn't step on the poor skull when he comes on. No, Captain! Killed my friend. It'd be devastating. Or kicks it and it stumbles down the steps and breaks. Would just be devastating. He's been carrying that skull around for God knows how long. Anyway. Oh, another letter from Yusuge to Kikusui. Kikusui. A letter from my parents said they'd apply for permits to come and see me. It must be her response to the letter she received. I can only pray that her heart can be healed as soon as possible. I have a letter to Kikusui of the Yellow today. Could you please inspect it? Hello, bestie. I'll have a look. I wonder if the Kotowari has information about the lore I heard yesterday. Mr. Director, I have a question for you. I wonder how he feels about being called Mr. Director. You know, he's just like, this is odd. What now? Can you please let your guard down? I just want to ask about a Tengu Island legend. I hope it's alright if I ask. If it really is a secret, Himiko wouldn't have told me about it. Do you know the story of how the sun goddess Amaterasu was killed by a certain man? Oh, shock. I thought he was just going to laugh at me. I didn't expect to see the letter fall out of his hands. Oh, Akaza! Who told you such a ridiculous story? I heard it from the Undertaker, Himika. It's a legend, nothing more. You're like, and yet you seemed shocked that I knew about it instead of being like, oh, interesting. Yeah, Yetis. People talk about those. They're fake, but are we? Are they? Do we? I don't know. Pretend. But like, you know what I mean? Like, Sasquatches. Yeah, no proof that they exist. But he's like, who told you that? It's ridiculous. I don't know. You sound a little sus, Akaza. He picked up the letter and carefully placed it back into the envelope. You should know that I hate that legend. I feel it's insulting to the red. I never thought about that. I was surprised when I first heard it. I assume the creator of that story bears some manner of grudge toward the red. His feelings regarding the subject shouldn't come as any surprise. I would probably say the same thing if it was about the white bloodline. It came from Lord Hirako! I feel like... So it's only a myth? It's like, we care about Akaza's feelings. It came from Lord Hirako. It was like, fuck you, Akaza. I heard it from a reliable source. Poor Akaza. It just may not be how she says it, but that's just the way it comes across. Himiko said he heard it from Lord Hirako. If you intend to unearth the truth, you'll have to ask Lady Amaterasu herself. Oh, come now. Inwardly, I felt a little deflated by his response, but he was right. No one knew the truth behind legends or fairy tales. Since ancient times, Amaterasu has been worshipped by everyone on the island where you were born. So of course I understand your curiosity. But do you not yourself find it disrespectful that someone killed the revered Lady Amaterasu of your people? Well, I suppose. As you know, the Red was long shunned by the island. It's about time we let go of that stigma. Of course. Akaza wasn't trying to convince me of anything, but the sheer power of his presence was enough to silence any further questions I had. It'd be best to forget about such folklore. Now, good luck with your deliveries and take care. And then he's got a smile on his face. But I feel like it's like, no, good luck with your deliveries and get the fuck out of my office. Thank you. I'll be going. He basically gave you no choice. He was like, get out. That was his nice way of telling you to get the fuck out. Anyway, perfect timing. So I'm going to wrap this up here and we'll continue in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.